Bonjour team, welcome back to the Football Feast. On today's podcast, I have Dylan Cognard. Dylan played football in France and grew up next door to the famous Le Havre Football Academy. Some players that came from the academy are Riyad Mahrez, Paul Pogba, Phil Mondi, and Dimitri Payet. Dylan gives us an insight into what it's like playing football as a kid in France, talks about football schools, French football, the illustrious cage football, frog legs, snails, and much, much more. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hey team, this is episode 4 of the Football Feast. On today's episode, I've got Dylan Cognard.
Yes.
Cognard. I apologize early on for some of my French or my attempts at French words.
It's okay. I apologize for my French accent already.
No, that's good. I apologize for that. Dylan played or grew up in France, and he played football there, and sort of the area that you were born in was Rouen.
Yeah, Rouen. Yeah,
Rouen.
Exactly.
There you go. Rouen. It's a good shot. Good shot. And Rouen is close to Le Havre.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, Le Havre. Yeah,
Le
good. No, you say good. You're doing good.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And Le Havre is extremely famous for producing some top-level French footballers. Yeah. So, what kind of footballers have come out of Le Havre?
So, from Le Havre, we had Paul Pogba.
Yep.
Paul Pogba. So, Riyad Mahrez as well, that is playing for Manchester City.
Yeah.
There was Benjamin Mendy, was a Manchester City player as well.
Yeah. He got pulled up on some naughty things, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
There was Ferland Mendy as well, playing for Madrid.
Oh, Real Madrid.
Yeah. After there was so many other players like Mandanda. I don't know if you heard about him, the goalkeeper of Marseille.
Yeah.
Steve Mandanda.
Ah, yes, yeah.
Dimitri Payet.
Oh, he was an incredible free kick taker, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, especially when he went to play in England.
Yeah. Was it West Ham?
West Ham, yeah.
Yep.
And so many other players. The good list of top level players.
Top level talent. I actually seen an interview recently with Lamine Yamal, and they asked him who's the hardest player he's come up against so far, and he mentioned Ferland Mondi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He said he's the toughest dude he's faced so far, and I think if he hadn't had so many sort of injury troubles. Man, he's from what I've seen, he's good. Hey,
he was really good, but a lot of injuries and were pretty quick and strong and was a good player for Madrid. I don't know if he's still in Madrid, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't look like there was talks of them selling him or bringing in Alphonso Davies, but it looks like he's staying on board. I think they're trying to get Alphonso Davies on the cheap.
Yes, I saw. Yeah. Crazy team, huh? Madrid. This year.
The president of Real Madrid, Florentino Perez,
he's doing a great job.
Yeah. how he pulls off these things. But I suppose the lure of Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And I think if you're trying to poach a player, surely when they're coming in for you and they're offering you contracts and they're like, okay, so the agent comes in, he's like, oh, so here's the deals we got on the table.
Yeah.
You can go to sunny Madrid or Manchester, which is cold most of the time and rainy and stuff like that. I'm sure a lot of players are going to be like, well...
Exactly, and just for the name of the club, the aura of the Madrid.
Yeah.
And player like Mbappe, they're ready to do a cut-off on the pay and stuff, and they accept all of the terms,
Yeah, that's true. That's
just
true.
For playing for Madrid.
Yeah. Mbappe, that's actually a good thing. What's the French feeling of Mbappe? Because is he I suppose, is he disliked at the moment because he's gone and left PSG? Or
I think with all what he's done for France, everyone is proud of Mbappe. Yeah. But after, in France, the journalists, they can be really, really hard and sometimes not really fair when there is a bad period, or there was a lot of expectation for Mbappe at Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
But other than that, we are proud that we have a player like Mbappe in France, you know?
Yeah, so he's sort of like a French hero, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, he's captain and with what he's done for France at the World Cup, like 2018 against Argentina. Or,
even like 2022, that was Qatar, and even the hat trick.
Yeah,
you know,
even
like them not winning it. Yeah, what a game, by the way.
Yeah,
what a game.
Crazy game. I was there.
You went there?
Yeah.
Really? What was it like?
I went to the final. I watched all of the games of France.
You're kidding me?
From group stage to final.
Okay. So I'm a bit like, we actually discussed this with one of the other guys on an early podcast, but French football under what's his name? Deschamps.
Yeah.
Deschamps? Is that
boring. No.
It's boring. It is boring.
I saw one of your podcasts. One of the guys was saying this. You were talking about it.
Yeah. What do you guys think? What do you think?
Well, it was boring, but it was working.
Yeah. That's literally what we agreed with. Like, it may be boring, but you guys are doing the job and getting to finals and winning World Cups.
Exactly.
So yeah, but like when you look at like the level of player in France's team, I guess you kind of, from like a purist point of view, we kind of want to see
more
like glorious football from those players because like they're capable of it, right? Like Griezmann, Mbappe.
Especially with those players, like you have a lot of expectation as a football fan. But I think the style of playing, not only France, but you could see at the last Euro, it's pretty like everyone on the defense and it's not like before, for example, I don't know how to say, but it's pretty boring and everyone looks like everyone is waiting. It's a good opportunity. It's a lot of analyze and it's less attacks and
it's not beautiful football.
Yeah, no.
It seems it's more about just closing off and stopping, minimizing risk.
Exactly. Yeah.
And stopping opportunities for the other team.
Exactly.
And then scoring off those 1, 2, 3 great opportunities that, roll out to Mbappe or Griezmann who kill games. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But yeah, what was Qatar like?
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah?
Seriously, it was amazing.
Really? Were you allowed to drink there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of new in the news. A lot of people was going against the World Cup in Qatar. It's gonna be boring and stuff.
Right.
But at the end, there was like, of course, private hotel and bars open, and you could go there and have drinks and then watch the game there.
Yeah. So the country got right around it.
Yeah. As soon it's in a private, like a hotel or big branch hotel, Novotel and stuff, and Pullman, and they organize events where you can watch the games on the TV, but you cannot drink in stadium and around the stadium.
Right. Okay.
You couldn't.
I mean, that's like that in a lot of like top leagues anyway. Like I remember going to England and we couldn't drink in the stadiums.
Yeah. So
that's, I guess, nothing really that different.
Yeah. And the atmosphere, the vibes was so good, and the logistics, the transport, like all of the stadium were around like, let's say 20 minutes, 30 minutes with a train.
Oh, really?
So
what was the transport look like? Like, was it easy to navigate on the trains there?
Oh yeah, so easy. It was perfectly organized.
Wow.
Everyone was just walking between the barricade, go to the metro. Of course, on the way, you sing with all of the different nations. And
dude, I love that part. Yeah. I remember because I went to the Brazil World Cup.
Yeah.
And going there as an Australian, like everyone, like no one's really threatened by Australia to beat their team and to go far usually. I found like wearing the Australian shirt, everyone was like, "Oh, Australia, kangaroo, Tim Cahill." But I just loved it. Like I love the World Cup because like every single day we would wake up, and it was like Rio or whatever city we were in would just change color. So whoever's playing that day, like Germany might be playing that day, and the city's like white. Yeah. And there's just streets are full of people. The festival areas are just like people chanting and happy. And then the next day, the Dutch are playing or whatever. They were still jerks to us, but I just love the feeling of it. Like the atmosphere, honestly, of a World Cup is unmatched.
Especially in Rio, in Brazil.
Yeah,
must be sick.
Yeah. When Brazil were playing, like In the morning, I was woken up by drums in the street.
Wow.
Like, just like cars.
Yeah, because it's like a religion, the football there. You know?
Yeah, man. That was a surreal experience. I remember there was a penalty shootout, and we were in like a street party for that. So like there was a penalty shootout, and the whole street was like silent.
Wow.
Like so many people, and they were all silent. And then like the goal would go in, like everyone like just went absolutely ballistic and hugging each other and like strangers and stuff. It was amazing. And they did win that penalty shootout.
Yeah.
But then the following game was against Germany. Do you remember what happened?
Yeah. 7-1, no? 7-1.
Dude.
Yeah.
I was at like a house party that we got invited to, and we went to this house, like a beautiful house in Brazil. We didn't know these people really well. We knew a couple of them, and they'd invite us there, and then they were so upset by the end of the game. And like one guy was blaming me for the loss. He's like, I've never met an Australian before. And he's like, because you've turned up at my house or my friend's house, it's your fault that we've lost. And I was like, what? I think it was David Luiz's fault, bro. But passionate. Yeah, absolutely. Like, and especially because Argentina made the final. So like, I kid you not. So we were in Rio when that final happened, and Argentinians. I don't know the exact numbers, but they told us that it was 200,000 Argentinians drove up from Buenos Aires to Rio.
Because Argentinian as well, they have like a passion.
And the rivalry between those, like, wow, man. Like, so they were there, like, and they had nowhere to sleep. Like, people were sleeping on the streets. They were sleeping on the beach of, like, what's the beach called? Oh, God. It'll come to me. But, yeah, the famous beach in Brazil, so in Rio. Copacabana. Yeah, so that beach, man, like blue.
Wow.
Like, and they didn't have anything to wear. It was just the Argentina shirts, and they were just all over the beach all day, constantly singing, like just like insane. And Brazilians were hating it because they just got smashed in their home country, and their biggest
rival. In Brazil, like it was
man, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But
the World Cup in Rio, because you have all of the passion and from Brazilian, from Argentina, must be insane in terms of atmosphere. Where in Qatar, you know, it's like it's not a country like where football is the main thing for the people.
Yeah, it's oil.
Yeah,
oil's the sport there.
But the Argentinians was over there as well.
Yeah,
of course. But I can tell in the stadium at the end for the final, they were like everywhere, and the atmosphere, the passion they have for the football, it's crazy,
dude. And like once you see it, you see sort of how they talk and like, you know, like how proud they are to talk about Leo Messi or Maradona. Yeah. And like they're almost tearing up, like as you're talking to them, and it's like, whoa! And if you say something offensive, they really
even in the group stage, they were doing like celebrating and partying until the morning, until 7 a.m. in a fan base where they are all sleeping together. Because I had some friends from Argentina, they were there as well, so I could follow on the story, and they were all doing party and singing until. All night until the morning, just for a group stage game, you know.
Yeah, man.
But it's a World Cup, but
just a group stage game of the World Cup. For us Australians, that's like the best. That's the pinnacle.
It was good. We play Australia for the first game group stage.
Yeah, we seem to get you guys every World Cup now.
Yeah, this one as well. Last one, as well.
Which is shit because you guys are like the top team in the world, and we're working our way up.
But you did good last time you went to the. Around 16.
Dude, for us to make it as far as we did with the caliber of players we took, this one or that last one, we should be proud, and they did a really good job. So but anyway, little sidetrack, but that's cool. I enjoyed that. So France. So can you tell me a bit about what is it like? Because I'd really like to know the difference between Australia and France for like a young kid to grow up and play football. Okay. So like you know, you just go out there and, you know, how competitive it is. Day to day, like after school or during school and stuff like that, you know, what's it like?
So, for example, since I'm a kid, and I would say most of the French people, it's like this. At school, we play football, let's say at every break. Like every time there was a break, it was football. We have the ball and we play.
Is anyone playing in other sports?
Yeah, of course, because at the school we have to practice other sport, but at the break, like when you have a free time during the day, most of us we are just playing football. Like
because football is number one there.
Yeah. So this, and then as well, I remember when I was kid, it was so at school during break, and then as well after school, with all of the friends, we go outside, we go at the stadium, because even in a small town, we all have a little football pitch.
Okay.
Like a local club.
Okay.
So we can use it as well.
Right.
So every time after school, going there and playing until dinner time.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, it's pretty like everywhere, and since we are kid. So I guess that's why we got good players as well, because it's really like,
what is it like? So development wise, so say if you're a kid and you know you're trying to play for the bigger clubs.
Yeah.
So you say you're trying to like make it into so what do they have there? Like they've got academies?
Yeah, so we got academies. Every professional club has academies. And as well, there is some school where it's like optional class. And during this, it's like a special class. And in this school, you have everyone has a normal schedule, normal classes. But there is a special section where so you do some tests to go there. I remember near my hometown, there is one.
Like a football test?
Yeah, football test. And then, so you will be in a class specific with a student, like school kids, and playing football as well during your time during the week.
Yep.
So you got, instead of practicing another sport, it will be more football, or football orientated. And so there is some schools do this, and then after you have some schools, they are really specialized in football. Where I got one of my best mates, for example, he did that. I wanted to go when I was a kid, like it was at 10, 11 years old.
Yep.
After primary school, and you do some tests, but it was a bit far away, so you have to go there, and for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, you sleep there, and you are sleeping in a special infrastructure where everyone is part of the football class, like football school. Let's call it.
So do they teach normal things at the school as well? Like you do French language class. So French language class, like science and
for sure. Yeah, but then you have special hours dedicated just to football.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So my best mate actually he went there, and me, I wanted to go. My mom didn't want me to leave the house at 11 years old.
Oh, well, so they send you off there at 11?
Yeah.
Away from your family?
Yeah.
Wow. So you go there, and then what does that look like? So the day starts at, say...
I'm not sure how it was, but I'm pretty sure they had football every day or during the afternoon or something like this.
Right, so they go to class every day. Yeah. And then class would end, and then they would have specialized football training.
Exactly. So you have the normal school,
right,
where all of the students from the area goes.
Wow.
And then they have the special section, like year 11, 12, 13 years old, 14, and they all sleep there for the week. They come back home on the weekend, but during the week they join the other students for normal classes.
Yeah.
But then they have the football training every day or every afternoon.
And the weekends, so they go back to the family on the weekends.
Yeah, and play for their own. Go back to the family and play with their respective club.
So what do they do?
The match game.
What do they do for food then? Does it cost money? Like, does a family have to pay for you?
Yeah.
Wow. So your family supports you while you're there.
Yeah.
And food-wise, like, does the 11-year-olds and that have to start cooking for themselves, or?
I don't know. It's like
provided.
Yeah.
Wow.
Provided by a kitchen.
Wow, that's phenomenal. That's really interesting. I can't imagine sending. So I've got a little boy. He's 7 at the moment. Yeah. Actually, his birthday's in a couple of weeks. Yeah, but I can't imagine sending him at 11 years old to football school and only getting to see him on weekends. Yeah. That's really interesting, and you can see why. Yeah, sort of that would help produce some top level players. Wow, that's quite interesting. Yeah. So, So I think we talked about before a little bit about cage football.
Yep.
So what can you describe sort of what cage football is?
So cage football is like a 5-5 side or 4-4 outside. That's most of the time the council built in every like small town or in city, especially like in big cities there is many. In suburb, it's just to provide to the people an area to play and to play football.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of this, like how do you call it in English? How do you say? How did you say in English?
Like cage football.
Cage football, yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of this kind of pitch everywhere in France. Even me in my small town where we are just 700 people, we were like, but now we are maybe 1,000 people in my town.
Oh wow, that's tiny.
And they made one.
Yeah. So obviously there's a cage around it.
So it's so like bitumen. Yeah, bitumen.
Not grass.
And no grass now. No grass. But now with
does it hurt when you fall over?
Yeah.
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 You slide tackle?
No, you try to avoid that. But at least you have to stay defensive and stay stand up, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so so it's like a bitumen, and most of the time to avoid that the ball goes outside, you have like a steel all around. Have you played the game FIFA Street on PlayStation?
Yeah.
So it's kind of same.
I used to love FIFA Street, like doing the tricks and stuff like that.
Yeah. So the pitch is kind of the same.
Wow. Okay. So every day, like after school. Or,
oh yeah.
Yeah, every day.
Especially in summer. In summer, with my friends, we used to. In summer in France, it's the sun goes down really late, like 9 or 10. And in summer, we eat quick, and we go and we organize tournament between all of us.
Yeah.
We do 3 teams of 4.
So do you meet other, like, there's heaps of people that go there?
Oh yeah, it's
and
like
you all
the
just
main
throw
spot.
Off teams against each other and try and beat each other?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds sick.
I think since I built it in my town from all my teenage years, in summer it was going there every day. Yeah. And in people from other village. Before the one was in my hometown, for example, we were going in the one with the bike cycling to the one on the other village.
To another town.
Yeah.
To try and take them down.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah.
The reason why I wanted to talk about that is because I've heard about that. So in Australia, obviously, we don't have cage pitches made of concrete in the middle of our cities. But yeah, so the reason I want to talk about that is because I've heard a lot of pro players saying that their career was made on playing in those cage games. So like I think Carlton Cole and there was a few other people I'd heard as well. They were saying that games in these cage pitches is where they were made. So they were playing against kids that were older than them.
Yeah.
And they had to be tough.
Exactly.
And they were hit hard and there's a cage you're getting bashed up against. So so you got to be quick on your feet. So it's 5v5?
Yeah, 5-5 or 4-4.
Yeah. Was the pitch big or was it like a short pitch where you've got to sort of maneuver quickly?
Let's say a bit smaller than a futsal.
A bit smaller than the futsal. Yeah, so less
it's
space.
More 4-4.
Yeah, so less space. Yeah. So you've got to be quick on your feet.
So you have to be really quick. So and you can see this with a younger one. For example, I could see that with the younger ones that they start really young on this and they're becoming really technique and really fast and many of the big players they came from at the beginning playing on this kind of pitch.
Yeah,
and you learn how to be really quick and tough, and you play with older guys. And
what kind of age kids would you see there? Like how young?
Oh, I would say us. We play between us, but then you have always the youngest. They start to play between them. So I will say maybe let's say 8, 9, 10.
8-year-olds?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I can start to play there.
Yeah, so 8-year-olds would come out and they'd face players
but usually
14-year-old, 15-year-olds?
If he's very good, but usually they stay on the side, you know, and we just play between us. But if you have one young, he's really good, he jump in.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. So you're sort of like proving yourself there. It's like proving ground. So if you're a young kid and you're trying to like, you're out there, if you prove yourself, like some of the teams will like be like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah, I can see how that like kind of exposure and the rawness and, you know, the toughness of it can really like make a player like mentally like strong as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Wow. So so I'm intrigued. Who's your favorite all-time French player?
Zidane.
Yeah, that's mine as well. Yeah. The way he made the game look. Yeah. Like, I think there's a couple of games against Brazil where, like, you know, the Brazilian lineup was just outstanding, but he just, like,
it was in 2006.
Yes. Yep. And the 1998 final.
Yeah.
Was that against Brazil?
Yeah, against Brazil, yeah. But 2006, the game against Brazil, you can see the highlights of the game.
I've watched.
He's like dancing on the pitch.
Mate, like, some of the things he could do, he literally just takes the ball out of the air and looks like he's just timeless. Like, he's got all the time in the world. And you know that those players that he's playing against are rapid.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be
especially the team of Brazil at that time. Like, they're crazy players.
Yeah, and he was embarrassing them all. Like, he owned the pitch against, like, some of the, like, literally, like, if you could name the top 10 players in that time, that Brazilian team probably had 7 or 6 of them. So, he was an outstanding player. Cool. So what's the like, okay, so you going from France, you traveled a bit, but what's the difference between French food and Australian food? So for instance, I'm kind of intrigued about, I want people to like sort of think about as well, like when a player tries to get a transfer and they move to a different league, one of the things that they don't really think about, but probably should think about is there is food differences. So in Australia, our food is a lot different to what it would be in France. So what kind of differences have you noticed? Less croissants?
Yeah. We have more sweets.
Did I say that right?
Less croissant. Croissant, yes. Yeah. You say good. I miss this one.
I've got a Scottish mate who has to like, he has to nail it every time he says it. Like, he can't just be like croissant to Australians. Like, he's talking to Aussies. But he's like, fully put croissant. Right?
Yeah. No, the difference between the food in France is not comparable.
Oh, really?
But between Australia and France, in terms of quality.
So what's breakfast like? What is a breakfast in France? You get up.
So the thing is, in France, most of the breakfast we do more sweet breakfast.
Okay.
Like
bakery.
a bakery or bread with jam and butter.
Patisseries?
Yeah, patisseries.
They're from France, aren't they? Like, it's sort of originated there.
Like, before to start traveling and go to Australia, I was always having, like, not savory when it's, like, eggs and stuff. It's savory, right? Savory breakfast.
Yeah.
So I never get used to have this kind of breakfast, like English breakfast.
Yeah. Have you changed a bit now?
Yeah, no, I prefer.
Yeah, you prefer our breakfast?
I prefer, like, your breakfast, yeah.
We've converted you.
Yeah. But in France, it's a lot of pastry or just a bowl of milk and cereal and a coffee and croissant or chocolat and the butter on a good bread with
I remember going to France. I was there for a couple of nights in Paris, and I just remember the hotel or hostels serving us up. Like, every morning there was like croissants, and a few different like rolls and stuff like that with jams and butter, or there'd be like a few light meats like some hams and stuff like that. But it was mainly like jams, marmalade.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that was with like your croissants and rolls.
Most of our breakfasts are like this.
Yeah. Okay. So what else is there? So what's sort of a lunch?
But then in terms of nourriture in general, food in general, of course, lot of pasta, like everywhere in the world, I guess.
Yep.
Pasta, but we got many different type of dish. It depends on the area where you're from in France.
Right.
Like for example, me where I'm from, we use a lot of cream in every.
But
Normandy, in everything we put cream in everything,
really?
Almost. But it will be different in another area.
What do you put cream in? You put it in pasta.
Yeah, like pasta carbonara, but should be without cream.
Okay. So you put it in your pasta. What else do you put cream with?
We have a dish. It's like turkey with rice and cream and mushroom.
Okay.
It's called escalope à la crème.
What is it?
Escalope à la crème. Escalope à la crème.
Escalope à la crème.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So this is one of our dish in our typical menu in Normandy. Then I don't know. It's been too long I've been in Normandy.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, okay. So very different from what we're used to. Yeah, I suppose like a player that's going over there can still get their passes and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
You can still have simple food like vegetable, rice, and meat.
Right.
Like everywhere.
Yeah, and escargot.
Yeah, escargot.
Escargot.
Yeah, escargot.
Yeah. Which is snails for anyone.
Yeah,
that's not sure what that is.
Very good.
I actually, when I was in Paris, we had to try them. And frog legs. What's the words for frog legs? Les foie gras.
No, frog legs. It's grenouille.
Grenouille.
Yeah, grenouille.
Grenouille.
But foie gras.
I'm not gonna get that one.
Foie gras, because in France as well we got a lot of dairy. So
okay,
like salami.
Salami,
ham, different kind of we call it charcuterie. So it's dairy.
Yeah,
people like Australian in general.
Yeah, I think it's because we're not very threatening in football. If we were a team that's going to potentially knock their team out.
France or Argentina. With Argentina, it's a war now.
Yeah.
Did you see what happened with the Olympic Games?
Yeah, I did.
And before, and with the World Cup, with the last World Cup in 2018, when we eliminate them, and then they start to have a little.
Did you see that song?
Yeah,
it's
about a like racist song about the French players.
Yeah. So did you? Yeah. So with like Enzo Fernandez, is it? Yeah, from Chelsea. How he sung that song on the bus.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't see.
You didn't see that?
No.
Oh, it went big, man.
Yeah.
So Enzo Fernandez posted a video, and they were singing a chant about French players, sort of saying how they don't originate from France and stuff like that. And like his Chelsea teammates there's French ones, who are from sort of African descent, but they didn't take very kindly to it. So I think he's had to do like a big apology back to the team, and
that's why I think all of this, like this little thing, escalated, and especially at the last game of the Olympics, they won against Argentina, and they went to celebrate in front of the bench and the family. So now it's like another
layer to it. Yeah.
And I saw a French fighter. A French fighter, you know, Cedric Doumbé, MMA.
Oh yeah.
He just comment, Otamendi, we have to talk in private. And then another Argentinian fighter, he said, okay, let's talk.
Oh wow! So it's escalating on like multiple fronts now. There's becoming like a cross nationality rivalry.
It is. It's so funny because in Australia, we are a lot of French the last 5 years, and I have a lot of Argentinian friends as well.
Oh yeah.
And it's always teasing. Yeah, it's okay for me. Everyone is like, I'm fine with this, but there is this rivalry, you know.
Yeah,
but it's so
I'm
funny.
sure hopefully there's some good banter there. Like they're just sort of teasing a bit and mixing each other up.
Some of the guys they are really not happy with.
Dude, like we said before, Argentinians are so passionate.
Yeah,
it's literally their life.
Like, it is
100%. Yeah. So, what are you liking about Australia? What have you enjoyed?
So Australia, it was a big change for me.
Yeah. Where did you come from before? Where were you?
just France.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah.
didn't travel to somewhere else before
No.
coming here? So France to Australia.
Yeah, so I left everything. I came by myself in Australia,
Wow.
and yeah, it was
Do you mind me asking why?
because I was starting to have like normal life and stuff, but
Yeah.
I was not feeling really happy, and I
You just wanted to
couldn't
change.
picture my life being. I was an accountant and working in the office, and I couldn't picture.
Yuck, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, I mean, lots of people are fine with it, but I couldn't picture my life starting like this and being that. And I was like, I have to do something.
Yeah, wow.
And so I start to look up on internet, and I had someone from my family went to Australia, and I asked few questions, and then I booked the flight, and yeah, flight to Australia.
I've always found that really interesting. Like, I've always been sort of inspired by people that do that a little bit, because like it takes a lot to move from your country, right? So like it's where you've grown up, it's where your family is, and stuff like that. So to get that in someone's head, and to get the cojones, the balls, to sort of pack your bags, book a ticket, a one-way ticket, and to sort of get on it, and just to roll the dice, like
I think
that's pretty amazing.
I think I think it's because I was feeling so bad at the time that I was like, okay, I need to make a move. I need to do something.
You know, I don't think I've ever found or heard of a happy accountant.
No.
I think there's something about that job. I think they need to do like heaps of work. Like, you know how like Google and that, they've got like these offices and they've got like heaps of fun and stuff.
Yeah.
I think like they literally need like a worldwide change for accountants, because I feel like a lot of accountants aren't happy.
Yeah. No, but you know, I was like 21, have my car, an apartment, have a good job, and like was starting good.
And just the numbers didn't add up.
Like, no, I can't.
Yeah, the numbers didn't add up for you.
No, it didn't. And then arriving to Australia and just traveling, get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And at the beginning was awful, especially with English.
Oh, okay.
With my English, like, was not really good.
Yeah, what's that like? Is it?
Oh, in France, we are bad in English.
Yeah, no, but like, what's it like coming here or coming to a different country, and you're sort of trying to speak to people, and they're struggling to understand you? What's that like?
At the beginning, you have to. At the beginning, it can be really uncomfortable, and you get frustrated because you want to speak but you cannot, and you can feel like a person in front of you is like trying to understand, and by the time you make up you understand the sentence and you make up a new one in your head, the person is already gone.
Yeah.
So it's a bit but you have to get over this and to be more like in the mentality, I don't care, I try. Yeah, because if you don't talk, you will not improve, and if you go over this, after that's it. And even if you do mistake and stuff, I get like improve.
I'm sure that would help you improve faster as well.
Yeah,
like by
and
forcing
put yourself in situation where you have to stay with English speaker, like not staying with French people. At the beginning, of course, I stay with French people when I arrived. It was like natural instinct. Yeah, but then after a while, I was like, no, I cannot stay in a hostel. I have to go in a share house with non-French speaker.
In the showers?
Share house.
Share house.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I don't know.
In a share house, and push myself to be in situation I have to speak English. And at work as well, especially with work.
See, even that that takes like mental toughness, like for you to go, right, you know, the only way I can do this, or the way that's going to help me do that, is by exposing myself to that environment. That's commendable. Like, you know, a lot of people would give up, or they'd hide, or they stick with their own, like stick with French people and just sort of hide in the
but then you if you are at the end of in a completely different country alone, you have to find a job, you have to improve your English, so you don't have choice to improve your English, unless if you just want to staying with French people and just, I don't know, just doing nothing, or but just to find job, to get money. You need money here, so this was the main reason as well. And
is there more opportunity here?
Oh yeah, so much more opportunity in terms of work, of job. Yeah, compared to France. I know in France it's more and more. What I can see, it's like people struggle more to find jobs, and
Right.
especially the wage.
Is that because there's less work?
I would say it's
Because it feels like here we have the ability to sort of just change jobs a lot easier than other countries. Like I've got a mate at the moment who's learning how to fly. He's just randomly just decided, like he's always been passionate about flying, but you know he's been in a Sparky and he's had like building jobs and like pretty high up jobs. But all of a sudden he's just paying for flying lessons and he's going to become a pilot.
That's sick. Yeah,
like that's amazing.
That's so
like,
cool.
And I'm sure in a lot of countries there's not that opportunity. Like you can't just flip a job like that.
Yeah, the thing is maybe because here in Australia you could save you could save better than in France, so you feel more.
Also, your money goes further. Like you can save more here.
Oh yeah, in Australia, but it's more expensive. But because you earn so much more, the quality of life is so much better than in France.
Right.
In France, will be so much harder to save, and if you're in a job where you just hardly saving, and you just pay all of your expenses, it's hard to say, okay, I'm gonna quit this job to do something else.
Yeah.
If you don't have the saving behind, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
That's really I guess a lot of people they feel stuck. Maybe.
What's it like trying to buy a house there? Like, is it really hard? Are they heaps expensive compared to what you earn?
Let's say.
Or do you have to buy smaller? So if you're going to buy, you buy like an apartment, like a small size apartment or something like that. Like, because we like, you know,
it's expensive in
buying.
Australia.
It is expensive to buy a house?
No, in Australia it's expensive the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, with what I heard from everyone, like the market in Perth.
Now it's going wild at the moment.
But in France, if you have a full-time job and a bit of saving, and you can get a mortgage, But like, then I don't really know the market how it is.
Yeah, so like the mortgage, is it a big gigantic mortgage compared to your wage? Like, is it easy to pay off, or is it hard, or?
Oh, usually you take 15, 20, 25 years to pay off your mortgage.
Okay, it doesn't sound too bad.
I would say. Yeah.
And that's for can you get like a decent sized house with a big front yard, a big backyard, and sort of, or what would it sort of look like? Because our houses here, like if you've had a look, like we generally get pretty decent land size where we've got a backyard and a front yard, and you know, it's generally a single level house.
Mm-hmm.
Where I know in like a lot of big cities in Europe, you've got those really tight, tiny little houses that are like 2-3 levels high, some like basements and stuff like that, and there might be like a fair few people living in the house at once.
Yeah, if you want a big house, I would say in Australia you have more the opportunity to get a decent house than in France. Will be more harder, more expensive.
I suppose that goes with like the bigger city thing.
Yeah, as well in the big city, all of the big city, of course, it's so much more expensive.
Yeah, so like in Paris, it'd be like Paris, insane to try and buy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But then if you're on a countryside, then
is it the Chardelise? Is that the street where there's like there's the shopping there?
Champs-Élysées.
Champs-Élysées. Yeah.
Champs-Élysées.
That's where like all like Gucci and all that are really expensive. Yeah,
it's the most expensive. Yeah.
We took a little walk down there. It was
So you've been to France?
Yeah. I was in Paris we were there for 2 nights.
Okay.
So not too long, but we seen the Eiffel Tower. We actually kicked like an AFL footy out the front of it.
Nice.
Yeah, we thought it'd be pretty cool.
That's cool.
So did that. Seen here we go. The Louvre.
Le Louvre, yeah.
Louvre,
yeah.
Louvre. Okay, good. I did all right with that one.
It's all right. You do good.
Yeah. So we've seen that. And by the way, I'm not really an arts person, but walked into that place. Man, like stepped in, like, so you walk down. I don't know if some people haven't been there before. So basically, you walk down. There's the pyramid, like that glass pyramid. So
in the middle.
Yeah, you'll see it in heaps of movies. There's a lot of movies these days. But so you walk down that sort of entrance through that glass pyramid, and you go down, and then you sort of come up to the first part of it, which is like a castle wall. So the Louvre used to be a castle.
It was a castle. I don't know exactly.
They told us that like that wall was part of the original building.
Yeah.
And then it used to be sort of a castle or something like that. But like, so you see that, and it's like, wow. So you see this stone wall from ancient history. The
architecture of the whole building it's insane.
Yeah. So you seen that, and that was pretty cool. And then sort of took a few steps further and like walk into the first room. And like, I walk in the first room and wow, like every single painting there, by the way, is huge. Like those paintings aren't small. Like every single painting is gigantic.
On the ceiling and
and the ceiling, like it's just like magnificent.
It is.
Yeah, so I'm not an arts person, but I walked in this room and like I was like, wow. And photos and film just don't do them justice. Like the color is insane, and they're bright and vibrant, and like I was pretty stunned, to be honest with you, and got a bit more of appreciation for art. So
imagine what they were able to do before, like to do this kind of art, and wow.
Although the Mona Lisa, that's tiny.
Tiny, and many people in the front.
So you walk through a bunch of rooms.
You don't even notice it, and you're like, what are those people are doing?
Like it was confusing why they were so like why it's so exciting, why it's such the centerpiece of like, and everyone talks about it, because you walk through all these rooms with these gigantic paintings.
Yes.
And they're vibrant and everything, and then you walk into this room and there's, like you said, there's like 7,000 people in this like tiny little room, like an elevator, all gathered around that one painting to try and get a photo in front of it. But it's I guess it's nice.
I guess
it's tiny compared to the rest, but very interesting. Yep. So okay, cool. So lastly, I've got some short fire questions for you.
Yep. Okay.
So current favorite player.
Do
you still watch football? Do you try and keep an eye on it?
To be honest, since I'm in Australia, I'm watching less and less and less.
Is it harder to watch it here?
Yeah, with the difference of time, and I guess before, in my circle of friends, we are all football, but then coming here, I'm with less people interested by football.
Yeah.
So I'm less into it. I still follow, but less.
Which team do you support?
I used to support Lyon.
Oh, nice.
Lyon.
They had glory years. For
with
Juninho,
Benzema. At that time, I was a big fan.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
They played some good football.
Juninho and his free kick.
Oh, that player, he scored.
Yeah.
Is he like the most free kicks of all time? I think he's something like that.
I think,
yeah. Insane free kick taker. Like, I remember like getting up early and watching Champions League games, and I feel like anytime Lyon were playing, I was expecting him to score a free kick. Like, I was expecting a banger to go in, and usually he was close. Like, if he wasn't putting it in, he was real close. And he was like from like crazy angle. Distance, man. He's such a little guy.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
So I used to support Lyon, and then Barcelona.
Oh, now you're a Barca fan.
Yeah, Barcelona with Messi.
Things have gone downhill a little bit. But favorite player, current favorite player.
I would say I like Mbappe.
Yeah.
Mbappe. Otherwise, I like the mentality of Olivier Giroud.
Giroud.
Yeah, Giroud.
Yeah, I like his mentality as well. Because he got slogged a little bit for a while, but he just keeps doing it, doesn't he? He just stands up and puts it away.
Yeah, and he shows that he is doing the job.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of people calling for him to get out of the French team.
Yeah, because of the Benzema. Everyone, a lot of fan of Benzema, and
what Benzema was doing at the time, it was crazy. And
of course,
he's such a complete player. But Giroud seemed to suit really well the whole system and the connection with Mbappe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So, okay. So, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
A superpower?
Yeah.
Oof. Superpower.
Any superpower.
Yeah.
So you can think of like the Marvel characters or DCU or something like that, or
a superpower. I would say flying. Flying must be sick.
Flying?
Yeah.
Where would you fly to?
To fly to? Yeah. Like if I want to choose now, if I want to fly?
Yeah, well, if you had the ability, the superpower to fly right now, where would you fly?
I would go back to France.
Really?
Yeah, to see my family quickly.
How long's it been since you've seen them?
It's been, actually not long time ago, a few months ago, because they came over to Lombok.
Oh, they came to visit you.
Yeah, so I'm living in Lombok as well during my time off.
Okay, yeah.
So they came to visit me in Lombok.
Wow, what did they think? Did they enjoy it?
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
loved it. It was the first time for them in Indonesia.
Oh,
So they loved it.
did they travel a bit?
So since I left, we traveled when we were younger, when we were kid, but then they stopped. But like proper traveling, they never really, just until last year, where because I was like, come on, I was pushing them. It's been 5 years I'm away, and I'm gonna keep traveling. I was pushing them to come over, and we do a trip all together with my brother, and my parents.
Yeah, cool.
And last year we went to Vietnam, so it was the first big travel for them.
Right.
We were like backpacking, bring them sleeping in a night bus, like 12-hour driving.
It's pretty humid over there, isn't it? Yeah. What do they think of that?
No, it was not a problem. They are pretty positive, and we tried, like, we did a motorcycling trip in the mountains of Vietnam.
Yeah,
in the north. They just
I've not been to Vietnam. I've actually got it on a list. Yeah, really?
Oh yeah, it's sick.
So cool. You did the mountain biking through hills, yeah.
So it's like a 4-day trip, and you go in the mountains, and you stop in homestay with the local. You drink the local alcohol, and it's cool. Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
that does sound cool.
So so my parents a few months ago, so Vietnam, Lombok, and I think next year, if I could fly, I would fly and go back to France, because I start to miss France as well. Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Pasta or pizza?
Pasta.
Pasta?
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Pasta. Carbonara.
With cream?
Yeah.
If you played a sport other than football, what would it be?
Other than football, rugby.
Oh, you like rugby?
Yeah.
Yep. Because rugby's pretty big in France, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yep. I don't really follow at all rugby, but I used to really like when I was kid. I was going to switch to rugby, but I didn't want it to leave my friend in my team of football, so I stick to football.
That's kind of it. What team do you think will win the Premier League this year?
The Premier League this year? Arsenal would be good.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. I'd like that change. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting sick of Man City.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to have a bit of change.
What about the French League?
The French League, I think will be the same like PSG, but yeah,
it's kind of getting old, isn't it?
Yeah,
but they seem to be going through a big change. There's a lot of players that have been turned over, so you never know.
So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know otherwise other than PSG. Would be interesting to see Marseille win.
Yeah, they've been close.
It's a big rival of PSG, so
yeah, they've been pretty close, haven't they?
Yeah, they were good the last few years.
Yeah. Yep. So last question. I think I know your answer. Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
So Messi. I'm going to create a little bit of a poll thing here, or I'm going to do every episode. I'm going to put out like the score. Yeah. It's currently as Messi 4, Ronaldo 0.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. You have to find more. You have to find more Ronaldo fan.
Yeah. Do you know? It's interesting since he's got 7 billion followers basically, and for it to be 4-0, I thought there'd be a bit more of an even thing, but yeah.
Let's see. You're gonna get more podcasts. Maybe it's gonna come.
Yeah. So any Ronaldo fans?
Yeah.
I'll hit you up. Cool. All right. Yeah, that's all from us. But yeah, thanks for jumping on, Dylan.
Thank you very much for this.
Cheers.
It was cool. Cheers.
Hey guys, just wanted to do a quick summary of today's episode with Dylan. So with Dylan, we talked about sort of the French football school system. And I know that's a pretty new concept to happen in Australia at the moment. I know there's like a Manchester City and Tottenham have joined forces with some of the colleges. And, I could definitely see how, over in Europe, they've got years and years of children going to these schools and having accelerated growth at them. That could definitely be an advantage. Probably something to look out for in the future of Australia, because hopefully we continue to adopt that and it can affect our national teams and our player production. Also, we highlighted about cage football, which I was really interested about. A lot of top end players have talked about their experience with cage football and how it's really turned them into the players they are, and how they had to like prove themselves and work hard. It's interesting because he highlighted how sort of in cage football the ball doesn't go out, so it's always got to bounce off that cage and stay in play, and also that the area is a bit smaller, so obviously you can have more time, more touches on the ball, and shorter distances to close down players, increase time at a higher heart rate, and that's going to increase like technical ability of players, and players are going to have to be faster and sharper, and the first touch has to be a lot better, and obviously, like he said, it's extremely physical and rugged, and a really good proving ground, and especially for like young children, like playing against older children and having that exposure, sort of toughening up, I guess. You can see how that would rapidly develop players, and probably something we're missing out on in Australia. He also we touched a little bit on French food and sort of the differences, and he even noted how sort of like over in France there's different areas, and in different areas there's sort of got different nuances. And he touched in Normandy that cream seems to be a big thing over there, but there will be other things for like even when we're just traveling over there without being a football player and trying to move there, there's going to be differences in food. Obvious things that they're going to miss out on is some things like Vegemite and Tim Tams and stuff like that, but I'm sure there's a lot of others as well. And it sounds like the breakfasts are definitely different to ours. Another thing we sort of discussed and highlighted is that accountants definitely have horrible jobs. So if you're in accounting, you should probably look into getting out of that quick smart. And then he sort of touched on how difficult it is to integrate into another country, and it takes effort. And then, like I said, kudos to Dylan, because Dylan has really put in effort there to sort of immerse and join into our communities, and sort of make sure he's trying to speak the language and be around us and stuff like that. And that's gone a long way with him progressing his English and being able to integrate with everyone else. So I think players can take something from that. So like if a player does get a transfer or moves to a different country, then they're going to have to integrate with different people and sort of work on that. That's all for today, guys. You can follow The Football Nutritionist on Instagram and X, and jump onto our blog at thefootballnutritionist.wordpress.com. Remember, keep fueling for success and kicking those goals.